that they thought that like I was gonna leave frame because my camera was still on, and they were just gonna see like my house like burning down in flames, and they're all like.
So I watched the trailer this morning, and this looks like a completely different show from what I grew up with, but I really like how it's evolved. What's it been like for you coming into something that's obviously well known, but having people, that are adults in the comments of these things being like, wait, I'm like 30 or 25 and I'm so excited for this show?
It's really cool to be able to make a product that's enjoyed by so many different generations, younger kids, teens, like older adults that are a fan of the original.
They'll definitely enjoy this one because it's even got some Easter eggs from the original. And of course, kids will also love it because it's just comedic. It's pretty spooky.
It's really cool that they'll all find something to identify with it. And I think the show has like a timeless quality to it that generations in the future, like we enjoyed the original 90s series, I think generations in the future will enjoy this one. I think the show did a really good job of that.
I think that's what made it really exciting to be a part of this, is just to know the weight and like how exciting this is to the older generation and the younger generation, and how we could maybe be like that for this younger generation and bring it to a new time. So that was really exciting and an honor.
I've watched bits and pieces of the 90s version, and I know that there was shorter kind of storylines. And this one, again, as we were talking a little while ago, is like kind of drawn out. And you kind of go in depth and learn about each character a lot. And like the show, like throughout the show, each character like overcomes a certain challenge or obstacle, and you can kind of just see them develop and change, which I think is really interesting. And you kind of just take a deeper look into what makes the Midnight Society the Midnight Society.
It is made for kids, but I think on top of just the nostalgia factor, we had a lot of people working on the set, like the directors, Matthias Herndl and Jeff Blodlow, who are very, versed and very, very talented directors who don't do kids work. They elevate it to a certain maturity that I think a lot of that'll resonate with a lot of adult audiences.
And the show really rests on the chemistry of the Midnight Society. What was it like when you all first met each other?
I gotta be honest, it was like a little awkward at first, like in the script reading. But I think as we like started to, because that was like a professional setting, but then we started like, getting closer in more natural ways, and then we became really close and found that we had a lot in common, and everybody was super friendly, so it was really easy to become close.
Sure. I still remember the first time I introduced myself to Arjun. He was playing video games on his phone, and he was like, "Hi, I'm Arjun."
Not how I remember it, but
Hi,
okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Well, when I first met Malia, she didn't really say too much to me.
I was nervous.
See, exactly.
Okay?
Well, no, I know. I was nervous too. I was very nervous. I'm always pretty nervous when I meet somebody that I'm going to be working with for a long period of time, because then you know that if like the first impression doesn't go well, it's kind of scary. But I think one of the main ways that we bonded is the people that lived in another place that came to Canada. One way that we tried to bond was going to like escape rooms.
Yeah, that was really fun.
So we went to like 5 or 6 escape rooms while we were there, and I think that's like you're being put in that situation. So I think that was.
I was pretty good at them, which helped.
We would go out and do escape rooms, and we'd go to VR, which was actually funny because we began to get recognized out in public as the Midnight Society by people, the old fans. And yeah, we did a lot of escape rooms. Which is actually, it's kind of ironic because it ties into the show. You're figuring out the clues and you're figuring out how to get out of it. And so we got to learn how to navigate our way through the story of Are You Afraid of the Dark by doing it in the actual escape rooms.
First time I actually saw everyone, like not in real life, but again, like on like Zoom, we were doing a read through of the first script, and like I got very nervous, and I think I was a little sick too, so I was very nervous for this whole time. And mid read through, the fire alarm starts going off, and my mom comes to my room and she's like, there's a fire. And so I'm like pausing. Everyone's like, what's going on? I'm like, I will get right back to you guys, but I think there's a fire. Anyways, turns out we're all okay. There was not a fire, but it was very very funny now looking back on that moment with laughs. But I remember like Malia and Arjun were saying that they thought that like I was gonna leave frame because my camera was still on, and they were just gonna see like my house like burning down in flames, and they're all like, anyways, that was my first time meeting everyone. Everyone was so sweet, but that was a crazy moment.
I remember that.
Were you like, oh no, did we step into a horror movie of some sort?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
she
like,
doing something to us?
We're like,
I
we
thought
should
we were
film it.
filming it. I thought we were filming, not being.
All right, I gotta recast Beatrice's character.
In this season, what are you excited to see with each of your characters as they develop?
I couldn't say what my arc is going to be without giving anything significant away, and so I think that's kind of telling.
I think definitely you'll see like different bonds between different characters. Like I think it depicts the relationship between a group of friends very well, where not everybody's as close to each other as, you know, some people might be rivals while some people might be closer. Like the only reason you're in this group is because you're close to this friend, but the other person you might not be that close to. So I think by the end of it, you know, it forms like a really tight-knit group, and you get to see the evolution of everyone's arc, and I think that's really cool.
But I think that my relationship with my brother, Seth, who is played by Dominic, goes on a roller coaster. Same with my relationship with Luke, played by Bryce. I think we all have relationships with each other, and over like the time of the show, it kind of changes, and we try to all, like, by the end, I think we're a lot closer together and have learned a lot throughout this crazy journey.
So like for my character, like he starts off where he kind of isn't leading anything, and he's kind of just following along, and I think he has to kind of find his true self while on this adventure, or else he can't make it.
I feel like for my character, Gabby, she has an arc where at the start she's very perfectionist. She has a lot of high standards from her parents, and by the end she kind of breaks free from that and learns how to bend the rules a little bit. I can't tell you the specifics, but there's a lot that you guys will see throughout the series that I'm excited for you all to react to.
My character really likes magic. That's the teaser.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Seth sort of gets acquainted with somebody, another famous face of the old series, a descendant of him, Sardo, or Sardu, as he's called in the new one, and they begin to develop a relationship as well, you know, and they're like shared love for magic.
Last thing, is there anything that you want to say to like get people to really tune into the show, why they should watch it?
Yeah, I just think everyone should know it comes out February 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Nickelodeon. Yeah.
I would say one of the main pulls is like how scary Nickelodeon's going with this one. I mean, I've heard people talking about how scary the old show was, and I went back and watched it, and I think we might have even gotten scarier than the original. So I think people should look forward to definitely being scared in a blanket.